What up, witches? It's your fave, Aro A Switch. And since it's Aromantic Awareness Week, we gotta talk about it. All right, so first things first, we need to get a definition out of the way. Just gonna grab my handed and then cheat sheet because, I wanna get it all correct. I don't wanna misconstrue anything, so I'm gonna give the official definition. Aromantic means someone who generally does not experience romantic attraction. Romantic attraction is defined as the desire to be in a romantic relationship and or do romantic acts with a specific person. So that's how we're defining aromantic. I will also be referring to aromantic as aro, which is the shortened version of aromantic. Sidebar. For about 6 months, I want to say in 2015, sometime around then, I was pronouncing it as arrow. And then one day someone made a post and they were like, on Tumblr, someone made a post and I was like, are you guys really pronouncing this as arrow? It's arrow. And I was like, oh, arrow, that makes so much sense. Like aromantic, arrow, not arrow, duh. And it's not even like I was pronouncing aromantic as aromantic. I was saying aromantic. But then when I would say arrow, I would say arrow for some reason, probably because of all the arrow imagery associated with it. But yeah, just a quick sidebar. It is pronounced arrow. So Aromantic Awareness Week is from the 21st to the 27th. And usually there's like a lot of live events going on. I'm not sure if there's going to be too many events this year, considering we're still in the middle of the Rona. So, I don't know what type of events people are hosting, but I'm sure there's a bunch of virtual events. One thing that people get confused a lot is they confuse aromantic with asexual. They think they are one and the same, even though I am both ace and aro. They are not the same thing. They're two different things. I'm going to try to explain it as simply as I can, but aromantics and asexuals usually use the split attraction model when it comes to talking about romantic attraction and sexual attraction, because those two things generally don't line up. So, we got to split them apart. So that's basically all the split attraction model is. It is when your romantic orientation is different from your sexual orientation. Mine happen to be in line with each other because I'm both aro and ace. But for other people, you can be aromantic and bisexual. You can be aromantic and asexual. You can be aromantic and gay. You can be aromantic and heterosexual. So, there's a plethora of things you can be. You get the idea. For someone that's aromantic, what that basically what means is that while you are not romantically attracted to anyone, you are sexually attracted to someone. So. And a lot of the times, aro people get the whole, oh, I feel so bad for you. Oh, you don't love anybody. Oh my gosh, you're a robot type of spiel. And that's all the heteronormativity talking. And in people's minds, if you do not have a romantic partner, then you are basically like incomplete. And that is not a good thought to have in your head. We are all whole, complete people, whether we are with somebody or without somebody. And sometimes you find somebody that compliments you, and that's great and that's wonderful and that's lovely, but you don't need to have someone with you in order to be happy and fulfilled. And another issue is a lot of people put like the most weight on like romantic love instead of all the other different types of love that there are in the world. Like platonic love exists, familial love exists, and people just pretend like romantic love is like the most important one, when really it depends on the person which one comes first. I mean, honestly, they should all be like on an even playing field, but depends on the person which one wins over the other. And that brings us right into QPRs, and that is or QPRs or PLPs. I was calling them PLPs for a number of years, I want to say, before I even realized that it already had a little cute acronym. I had no clue. So I was calling it PLP, which is a platonic life partner, but QPR is a queer platonic relationship. I had never heard of that. I mean, obviously now I know, but I want to say I found out around 27, it's 18. Anyways, I was calling it a PLP for a while before I found out that we already had a thing called a QPR. So there's that. And a QPR is exactly what it sounds like, a queer platonic relationship. A relationship. It depends on the person, honestly, what the relationship looks like, on the people in the relationship, what they look like, but they can oftentimes look like romantic relationships on the surface. But really, it really depends on who's in the relationship, what it looks like, and what it means to be in a queer platonic relationship. I think most people would think a QPR is strange if they ever like really sat down and like observed someone in one, because for them it is strange because they have no basis of a romantic relationship, or they have no basis of a relationship without romance. At least in that sense, where it's someone that you want to like live with, maybe raise children with, possibly like share a room with, like anything like that. In their mind, that automatically equates to a romantic relationship. And so when you have all of those things but not the romance, it throws people off. Sorry, I had to break up. My cat's fighting and I don't remember what I was talking about. We're just gonna move on to the next thing, which is that aromanticism is a spectrum. Just like with asexuality, it is also a spectrum. And I'm sorry I keep bringing up ace. I know the aro community wants to separate themselves from the ace community because people always put them together, so sorry. But yes, it is a spectrum, and there are different types of I don't even know what you would call it. Different types of romantic experiences people have based on where they fall on the aromantic spectrum. I'm gonna take out my cheat sheet again, and we're gonna name just a couple, not a lot, because I'm sure there's more than what I even know, but we're just gonna name a couple. So there's demi-romantic, which is when someone only experiences romantic attraction after forming an emotional bond. There is gray aromantic, which is a general term, and it's when someone they rarely experience romantic attraction, or only under certain circumstances, like very specific circumstances. There is litho-romantic, which is when someone experiences romantic attraction without the desire to have it reciprocated back to them, or that when it is reciprocated, the attraction disappears. And then I think I'm saying it correctly, there's cupio-romantic, which is when someone does not experience romantic attraction but still desires to be in a romantic relationship. And I'm sure I've missed plenty. I'm sure there's so many more that I do not have listed, but you know, the list could go on and on. I don't want this to be entirely too long. I just wanted this to be a quick overview since this is day one, and you know, maybe I'll go into more specific sex of it. Specific sex of it. But for right now, is that short for sections? I think it might be short for sections. I'll go into different sections, maybe, possibly, but that's all for now. Look at this baby. He was biting his brother. He was biting your leg, huh? Had to break up the fight. Biting your little leg.